Welcome everybody, welcome to our makeup masterclass. I'm really excited tonight because we are going to get a little hint of how to add some color into your day. So my name is Kristen Stewart, I'm an Arbonne independent consultant, and this is Jackie and Shari, both Arbonne independent consultants. And Shari, Miss Shaz here is going to show us, she's the makeup artist, but she's going to show us how to brighten our day with the Brighten Your Day pack. So this is super exciting because sometimes, people aren't so confident in adding some color. So you're going to show us how to do that.
Yes.
Before we start though, just to explain where we are here, we've already got a base on. So we've got a primer on already, of course, under our Perfecting Liquid Foundation of Earthy Beige. And it just sits so beautifully, like I can't believe, like this just got such a beautiful glow. Added some eyebrow pencil, so the Arbonne Shape It Up eyebrow pencil. And then a tiniest bit of mascara in the Speaks Volume mascara. So just a really nice base to start with. And we're going to start with eyes now.
Yes. Yep. So the first product we're going to use, and this is the starting point of creating that perfect eye, is the Prime and Proper Eye Primer. So essentially what you want to do is also apply this with your concealer brush. So I love these double-ended brushes, multi-use. So we're going to actually work with the flatter, denser side. So Jack, I'll get you to close your eyes for me. So just applying a small amount, just right in the center of the eye.
So what this is going to do is this is kind of multi-purpose, this primer. So what happens is it will stop your eyeshadow from creasing, as well as make your eyeshadow last a little bit longer throughout the day, and also just have a good base for your eyeshadow too, hey?
Yes, absolutely. So what we're doing here is applying from the lash line all the way to the brow bone, because we just want a really nice smooth base. And one thing I love about this primer is it's slightly tinted, so if you have some discoloration on your eyelid, it just covers that for you as well. So you get a really nice, smooth, even skin tone on the eyes.
It will also pick up pigment in eyeshadow too. So it will, whatever color you're using, especially today because we're getting creative and adding some color, it will pick up that color and make it more look more pigmented on her eye as well. Okay, so what's next?
We're going to work with the It's All in the Eyes Volume 1 eyeshadow palette. The reason I really love this palette is because of all the beautiful warm tones, especially leading into winter. These colors will look perfection on the eyes.
Yeah, and especially with a blue or green eye, if you think of a color wheel, what you want to do with the blue and the green tones is just go opposite into the color wheel, and those tones, all those earthy tones, is really going to make that blue or green eye really pop in color. You might have noticed, when people with blue or green eyes wear a certain color, you might get compliments on your eyes quite often. It's like, wow, your eyes look super blue today, and it's the color that you're wearing. So you can also do that with the color that you're putting on your lids as well. What are we using today?
So first things first, tools. You need 2 brushes, and that's literally it. So we have a beautiful blending brush, which is the Arbonne All Over Eye brush, and then we have the shading brush. Jack, do you mind holding this for me? Thank you. So this brush is slightly dense. It's great for picking up the product and applying it on the eye. And then this brush, you'll see it's a little bit more fluffier. It's great for blending. So we've just applied the eye primer. I always like to start with a vanilla tone or a nude tone, which is matte, to set the eye. So what we do is just apply, just pat.
And if you saw, Shari actually just tapped off that product too. So she popped her brush into the eyeshadow and then just tapped the excess off so it doesn't go all over Jackie's face and catch on her cheekbone.
And essentially what this is doing is just starting the look of our eye. And when it's a beautiful vanilla tone, it just makes the eyes pop almost straight away, really brightens the eye. Jack, do you mind opening for me? Can you see how it's just nice and fresh?
Yeah. And as well, using a base like this means no matter what color we end up putting on top, we could go black, we could do any color, what's gonna happen, it's gonna just blend so much more smoothly and even now that we have a base on. So it's really important to use that vanilla or, you know, something nude like that fog. I love this tone. It's gorgeous. And you're right, it just instantly brightens up an eye.
Yeah.
Just using that.
Okay. So next color I'm actually going to use is, it almost, if you're scared of using color, this will really work, like help you warm up to leading to that end color. So we call it a transition color. So what I'm actually going to do, actually I'll grab that so you don't cramp up. Got comfortable you using it, holding it. So I've got the color Clove on this palette with the blending brush, just tapping away the excess, and I'm going to apply that in the crease of the eye.
So with what you're doing here, putting it in the crease, will that work for all eye shapes, hooded eyes and all?
Absolutely. As long as you stick to this top row where the colors are matte, you can use it on any eye shape. It doesn't matter if you have a hooded eye or a protruding brow bone, it works the same.
And what I love too about this color Clove is Jackie's eyes are super blue, and again, we're just going through that color wheel. If you go straight opposite, you're going into those red and oranges tones. It doesn't mean go out and buy an orange or a red eyeshadow. It means look for that base color in that eyeshadow. And because Clove is so earthy, watch Jackie's eyes just pop after this application.
And essentially with these warmer tones, it just really warms up the face as well. Just adds that nice pop of color. If you want to use a more bronzy tone like this one, it'll complement your bronze cheeks. So I'm just using, I call it like the windscreen wipe effect. So essentially you're just going back and forth with the brush to get a really nice even application, and it's just blended beautifully. And almost like it molds onto the skin as well.
Yeah. And just if you can see where Shari stopped putting eyeshadow, if you create like a pretend line from the end of the eyebrow to the corner of her eye, you don't want to bring product out of that pretend line. So just keeping it all inside that line. I'm just messing up your hair, Jack, I'm sorry. And you know what? That look is pretty much my go-to, like just those two. So again, like when we're using the fog, if you are just wanting to brighten up your look, just use the fog. If you want to get a little bit more creative, put that Clove or that matte or the top line Shari was saying in that transition color in that inner crease. And then we're going to add the color. So I'm excited to use the color. We've chosen a beautiful color today.
I'm getting carried away, so I've actually just applied a little bit along the lower lash line, and that'll just make her eyes pop a little bit more. So you can't trust a makeup artist with colour. We just don't know when to stop. For Jack today, I think for today's look, do you agree mahogany?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to use mahogany again with the flat brush, which is the shading brush. We're going to pick up some product, tap away the excess.
If you can't see the palette too closely, it's got like a real rich burgundy purple type tone.
And with this color, we're going to focus just on the mobile lid. So essentially from the lash line, just to the crease of her eye. I'm getting fallout, sorry guys. We'll clean that up at the end.
Yeah, so Shari was just saying about the fallout, which is just this here that falls on the tops of the cheeks, but don't worry about it. You can clean that up later, and with just a little bit of primer and a cotton bud even with one of the Arbonne facial makeup wipes.
So I'm taking it probably 3/4 away, across the eye, because what I like to do is then again with the blending brush is just blend, sweep that color in. The beautiful thing about these shadows is that they're buildable, so you can apply and keep applying. The color, the pigment is actually really nice on them. So a little goes a long way.
Yeah. And like Sherry said, you know, just go to the palette, put a little bit on, and then another apply a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, instead of going so heavy on the brush the first time and then trying to maneuver that product on the lid.
Sorry, did I scare you? Big brush under your eyes, sorry. And chin down for me, because you're so tall. Just trying to get away. What do you think? Do you think we can go deeper?
Beautiful. I think that's perfect the way it is. I think it's perfect. And you just pick up that slight little color. And can you explain to everybody, if you've got a hooded eye, it doesn't matter what kind of eye shape that you have, that this technique's kind of good for everybody?
This is essentially a universal look. So think 3 colors. You have your base color, which is a light color just to set that primer. Then you have you can call it the socket color, so that goes into the crease of your eye. And then the darker tone will just stay on the mobile lid. So it actually doesn't matter what type of shape eye you have. It's just knowing and understanding when to stop with bringing the color out. So you always just want to complement the eye shape. So always making sure you kind of stop with the outer corner of your eye and blending the product up, the eyeshadow up.
So really, it doesn't matter what eye shape you have, that we can do the fog, the base, the transition color, and kind of change whatever color we want from the outside?
Yeah.
Great, because there is such, I mean, we did have a little issue just before because we didn't know what color. We're like, they're all amazing. Which color do we put? So you can change it up whenever you want. And just that last color that Sherry added, that can be any color in that palette, but we've just chosen mahogany today.
Because we'll just make Jack's beautiful blue eyes pop more as well.
Beautiful. And I think we're going to contour now.
Yes. So we have
eyes, like bluest.
Starlight Glow palette. Every makeup artist's dream is to have everything in one palette, and this is it. So we have a contour color, and then bronzers and highlighters as well in a warm and cool tone.
Great. And what brush are you using?
I am using the cheek brush. So it's an angled brush.
Which is so good because you really, you know, you can't go wrong, because some brushes are too big, you got to taper them in. This is like the perfect size.
Absolutely.
And it's already angled for your cheek, which is amazing. I love it. So tell us some tips on contouring. So contouring essentially is pulling back certain areas to create an illusion of a more defined cheekbone or jawline. So essentially what you want to do is focus on where the cheekbones sit. So it's always where, if you actually have a feel of your cheekbones, Chris, there's a hollow there of the bone. That's where you want to apply your contour color, and a matte tone is probably better, and of course Arbonne has it matte, so it's perfect. And you want to actually just brush and sweep that color against where that hollow is. And for Jack, for instance, and for majority of women, the color generally, your cheeks where the hollow ends, is from the outer corner of your eye. So use that as your little like gauge as to where you should stop the contour. And I like to continue that warmth because it does create a bit of warmth to the face down the jawline. So this is great if you want a little bit of a lift in that jaw area. What are you trying to say, Sherry? Can we do some more?
Bring it on.
And I'll just get you to face this way and just chin down slightly. Thank you. So you can see just there, and sweep that. That's why this angle brush is perfect, because it just almost follows the shape of that bone.
So can you point out where should Jackie stop?
So Jack should essentially stop right there, because this is the apples of the cheek. So you can like see that it's, you know, a lot fuller. So once you have a feel, you can see that the bone stops there, and where the apple of the cheek starts, that's where you stop. So that's essentially like the outer corner of her eye.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful too when you're contouring that you don't come too far with this color down. Otherwise, you're going to give the illusion of a longer face. So just keeping it, like Shari said, in the hollow of the cheek.
Also, the forehead is great just to add a bit of warmth to the forehead as well, so it looks a bit more sun-kissed. And if your hairline does start further back, it's a good trick to create the illusion that your hairline is a little bit more forward as well, for those that like that look.
Yes.
I have to do that all the
big
time.
foreheads.
Okay, next I'm just going to apply a bit of color on Jack's cheeks, and that's the apples of the cheeks. So again, I don't need to get Jack to smile because her cheeks are ridiculous. Yeah. I love this color Twilight. It's perfect for every skin tone. It's just that perfect amount of bronze and warmth to the face. Notice I'm using the same brush. So you don't need to fuss around too much with having too many brushes. And I like to just sweep that bronze look just a little bit on the bridge of the nose as well. And your favorite part, highlight.
I feel like when we highlight, then there needs to be like a little halo appears. Because honestly, like, explain what a highlighter does.
A highlighter is just beautiful to create that perfect glow, the illusion of that. Essentially, highlight, you just think sun-kissed, you think Greek islands. Just really beautiful. And again, it still adds a lot of warmth. The perfect thing about this palette is you do have a little bit of a cooler highlight here, which is a pinkier tone, but it still has that nice amount of warmth to it. So I actually, because you can with this palette, I mix them up. And I just like to brush it on the highest points of the cheeks. So your contour is at the lowest, and then your highlight is at the peaks of your face, where it would get that natural sun-kissed glow if you were out in the sun.
Yeah, and you don't need too much. I mean, if you're in your bathroom, and depending what kind of lighting you've got, whether in your bedroom or bathroom, just remember a little goes a super long way. You don't want to overdo it, because when you get into the natural light and just move your face around, it will pick up sunlight or the different lighting. So just make sure you're really light-handed on the highlighter.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready for a pop of colour.
So we managed to convince Jack to let us put some colour on her lips today. So I actually like to use lip liner first. So this is the Fuchsia in the Arbonne lip liner. The beautiful thing about this lip liner, it also could essentially work as your lipstick too. So it's because it's just so highly pigmented. The reason I like to line my lips first, it's almost like when you apply your lipstick, you want to make sure you stay in the line. Yeah. So this creates the start for you.
Yeah, and Jack is a really huge lover of red tones, like so gladiola, lots of red tones on Jack's lips. So, you know, not afraid of colour, but this pink is just so beautiful and bright. It brightens up your day, right?
Essentially what we've done with this look, you could even wear a gloss over this and go from day to night with just this lipstick, just adding that pop of colour. So I'm just colouring her lips in a little bit, like so. And then, the exciting part. What colour did you pick for me? Peony. Do you say peony or peony?
I say peony because it's like the flower.
What do you say?
Yes.
Look at that.
It's so beautiful.
Beautiful.
And I love this colour too, because one of my best friends, Priscilla, she is really dark hair, olive complexion, but even with the dark hair, this colour just pops so beautifully as well. It just changes everything, doesn't it?
I feel like this is a good time to be able to experiment as well.
Yeah.
Because we're not always going out. Just to experiment at home.
Once you've popped your lippy on, just close your lips for me. Thank you. You can crisp and sharpen your lip line a little bit more by going back with your lip liner and just going over that lip line again, just to really sharpen that look. Oh, this color. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
I love that, and the highlighter is just...
Wow. I hope we've convinced you that you can wear pink.
I love it. I love it. So that is pretty much it. And do you know, what's your favorite part about this look, Sherry?
I'm a lip girl, so it has, for me, it's the lips.
Yeah, I'm really loving the mahogany on the ends of the eyes. Really love it. And it's just making her blue eye just stand out so much. I love it. And you know what? But with just, how many products are there? Like just with a few, like 2 palettes, and this is the look and, you know, the creation that you can get by just adding a few products. So I'm really excited that we got to play with some color today, and I hope you guys get to experiment and actually add some color to brighten up your day too. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've learned something new. Thanks for joining us, girls.
Thank
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.